YouTube found a community, fans of people who like watching videos leave my apartment, random people on the internet. My name is Giggins, and here today is just a really random video. I've never done one like this before, but in the last handful of months, or maybe the last year or so, I've acquired things either from friends or from things I've picked up at like Goodwills, antique stores, thrift shops around the area for super cheap, usually $1 or $2 for a record. And as I'm sort of in the middle of moving right now, I'm paring things down and trying to figure out what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep. And I thought it'd be fun just to make a video to show off what I'm getting rid of. So, I'm not going to put these up for sale on here or anything because they're not worth that. So, completely random video just to show what's going out. They're all in terrible shape, by the way. But this is Gary Lewis and the Playboys, Everybody Loves a Clown. Really good album. I mean, it's a solid record. Some good stuff on here. Tossin' and Turnin', his cover of Tossin' and Turnin'. Everybody Loves a Clown. I Gotta Find Cupid. Till I Kissed You. I mean, there's some great stuff on this thing. So definitely gonna get an upgrade at some point. But for right now, I mean, it's scratched. I mean, well, there's that. So it's in good shape. But it's just scratched to death, and it's not worth hanging on to. I don't have a lot of space, so space is a big deal. This one is called Joe Niagara, the Rockin' Bird, presents 20 knocked out nifties of the past. This is actually a pretty solid collection. This one has some pretty rare, not rare, but like unconventional rock and roll stuff you wouldn't normally see. So it's got like the Bristol Stomp is on here, which I think also Tossin' and Turnin', which as I'm making this, we just found out that Bobby Lewis died at the end of April. Rolling Stone just reported about it. So that's kind of weird that he's on both of these records and he just passed away. Very strange. But yeah, You Belong to Me by the Duprees. I'm trying to think of anything else I recognize here. Twist and Shout by the Isley Brothers. Not Me by U.S. Bonds. Searchin' by the Coasters. That's a good one. There Goes My Baby by the Drifters. So, I mean, this is a really solid record too. But again, it's just scratched beyond repair. So it's really cool, but it's also really, really beat up. So that guy's going. James Taylor, Sweet Baby James. This is a German copy of it that I got at a Goodwill, actually, for like $1. It's just not for me. I'm not a huge James Taylor fan. I like some of his stuff. This one has a bunch of famous songs on it, like Fire and Rain and Sweet Baby James, Steamroller, Country Road. I mean, there's a lot on here. And a lot of people played on this thing too. I mean, you got James Taylor, Carole King. I think it was produced by Peter Asher, wasn't it? Yeah, Peter Asher produced it. Yeah, so I mean, it's got a lot going for it, but it's just not one of my favorite records. And it's one of those things where I just don't need it hanging around. But it was at a store at one point, and Amoeba Records had it at one point. Geez, maybe I should keep it just with a sticker. That's cool. Up next, we've got Kenneth McKellar. This is a Scottish dude, and the record itself is from the UK. It's the flatback style, and it's all like traditional Scottish songs. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. But I bought this just because I like part of my family's heritage going back in time is Scottish, so I kind of like hearing Scottish traditional tunes. This guy's got a hell of a voice. I mean, he's a famous dude. But it's just destroyed. I mean, it's all water warped and damaged, and you can see some of the bending and stuff there. It's just kind of falling apart. So if I ever find another one at a good price that's not destroyed, I might pick it up. Got a couple of loose ones I've just had forever, and I put new sleeves on them at one point. But the Doors, Other Voices. Just not a Doors fan. I know it's like sacrilegious to say that, but they're not my favorite band of all time. I do like some of their songs, but they're just not my cup of tea. So this is Other Voices. This came out after Jim died, I think. This is one of those ones they made where the other guys were the other voices. But yeah, just the record, so basically worth nothing. This one's actually pretty cool, the Wild Angels soundtrack. There's some good stuff on here. A lot of Davey Allen and the Arrows, and a couple of groups called the Hands of Time, and that's it. So it's mostly Davey Allen and the Arrows, which I like a lot. I've got a couple of their records already. This was just kind of beat up. I've never seen this movie before. It'd be kind of fun to watch it, I guess. Nancy Sinatra and Peter Fonda, so famous people. Bruce Dern. Oh yeah, look at that. Diane Ladd, geez, everybody's in this movie. So, the Wild Angels soundtrack, unfortunately, is just destroyed. Again, I found it for like a quarter, so not losing sleep over it, but that guy's going. Up next is another loose one. What is this one? Oh, the Motown Story. It's volume 4. So the Motown Story was a box set from 1970, I think. And I have the box set, but I happened to find this individual record at probably a Goodwill on one of my lunch breaks from work one day, because I have a record player at my desk when we're working in the office. And yeah, I picked this one up. It's got some great stuff on here, and it's really cool because they have interviews with some of the Motown artists at the time. So you hear Otis Williams talking about the Temptations, you hear Diana Ross, you hear Mary Wilson. I mean, it's a really cool setup. You know, Levi Stubbs talks on here too, from the Four Tops. But yeah, no, it's cool. I just have it already, and it's just this, you know, one-off record there. Excuse me. This one I was really, I was disappointed by this one. I love Martha and the Vandellas, and I was really stoked to find this because it's a record from the early 80s. It's got the shrink wrap on it. It's got the original sticker for Caldor, which doesn't exist anymore. So I was stoked to be like, oh, this is great. I don't have any Martha and the Vandellas on vinyl. This would be awesome. It's got Heat Wave, Dancing in the Street, Nowhere to Run, Jimmy Mack, you name it. And I put it on, and it's all redone early 80s drum beats on top of the original track to make it sound current, which was happening to a lot of groups at that time. And for me personally, it just kills the experience. I want to hear the original Funk Brothers. I want to hear the original group doing this thing. I don't care for the remake of the tracks themselves. The vocals were original. Some of the guitars were original as well, but a lot of the instrumentation was redone. Which for me, like I said, is a drag because I want to hear the actual tracks. I don't want to hear these newly recorded things. So someone's gonna really enjoy this and then get disappointed by it pretty fast. So, Glenn Miller, I love Glenn Miller. I love big band music. Yeah, everybody from Buddy Rich to Gene Krupa to Glenn Miller to Benny Goodman, all those people, you name it. I love all those guys. Some really fun stuff. This one, I kind of had a lot of this music already. A lot of these are, I think these are recordings after he died. I don't think this is the original band. I think it's from the late 50s. Yeah, so it's good. A lot of it isn't really like his most famous stuff. So it's kind of a unique set, but you know, I have it in different formats. Didn't really need another one, but I picked it up because I had it at work. The Monkees, then and now, the best of the Monkees. I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. So this is from 1986 when they had their resurgence. They put this best of album out, but it's just the record. There's no jacket, and it's again kind of scratched up. So the Monkees. This one is actually a fairly recent pickup, and I actually spent like $15 on this one. But it's a group called Penny Arcade, and they were kind of formed, produced by Papa Nez, Michael Nesmith, from the Monkees, and it was a never released album from the 60s of a group called Penny Arcade. They lasted for a couple of years. None of their stuff ever came out. I think they put out a couple of singles at the time. One of the lead dudes kind of went off on this like crazy tangent where he did a bunch of drugs and like thought he was like a god or something, and his story is bizarre. I forget the guy's name. It may have been Craig Smith. So I was reading about his life, and I was like, kind of like, wow, like this dude kind of had a hard time after the group broke up. But musically, it wasn't happening for me. You know, it just wasn't working for me. Obviously, the record's in great shape. It's a Sundays record. It's from the late '90s, 2014. Okay, I was way off. Yeah, so I mean, it's in great shape. It sounds fantastic, but I'm just never gonna play it ever again. It just didn't do anything for me. The last two are the Association, and these are just destroyed shapes. So this one does have the shrink wrap on it, but it looks like someone just like put it in the shower and left it there for 40 years. And it's, I mean, the record themselves, I mean, just, you can't really tell from the light. You might be able to tell from the light, but they're just distorted and warped and scratched and scuffed and you name it. So, I mean, this is a great album. I mean, you know, Along Comes Mary, Cherish, Remember, Changes, Don't Blame It On Me. Like, there's some great stuff on this thing, but it's just destroyed, so not gonna stay. And the Association's Greatest Hits, one of the most popular albums of all time. Again, absolutely wrecked. riggedy wrecked. So, I mean, it's got Scotch tape on the side, or it's just this is falling apart. I might keep this one just to use for projects or something. But I mean, it's a hell of an album. I've had it before. I think I've had a couple of copies, but I've sold them over the years. So until I find one in good shape, that's just how it goes. So that's it. Those are all my records. I am gifting away to Goodwill or whatever shop I find that wants to take them. I don't even want money for them. I just want to get them out of here and have somebody else enjoy them or use them for a project or, start a collection or something. So that's it. Quick video. And let me know what your thoughts. How often do you guys get rid of records? How often do you pull things out and say, you know what, I haven't listened to this in years, I gotta get rid of it? What are your thoughts on that? And were there any favorites in this pile? Is there anything I should keep that you think I should particularly hang on to? So that's it. My name is Giggins. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.